While the details of this agreement, they haven't been made public yet, it does seem like Donald Trump has failed to achieve almost every single one of his goals in this war. Or the future of Iran's nuclear program, for example, that hasn't been decided yet. They're saying that issue has to be negotiated over the course of a new 60-day ceasefire that's set to begin after the signing of this framework agreement in Switzerland on Friday. In addition to keeping Iran from ever having a nuclear weapon, which US intelligence agencies had not found that Iran was actually pursuing, these included 1. Destroying Iran's military and especially ballistic missile capabilities, 2. Ending its support for regional proxy groups, and 3. Enabling the Iranian people to rise up and overthrow the regime. Months later, US intelligence showed that Iran retains significant missile capabilities, and we've seen no indication that the new deal includes restrictions. Iran's reportedly made it clear that it intends to keep building ballistic missiles, and they've reportedly made it clear that it will keep supporting its proxy forces as best it can, including Hezbollah in Lebanon, Hamas in Palestine, and the Houthis in Yemen. The hardliners may have more power now. There's also no sign that the deal includes any measures to keep them in check. And also, while you have Trump telling the New York Times that Iran will be unable to access sanctions relief and up to $25 billion in frozen funds if it kills protesters again, there's reportedly not a condition that appears anywhere in the current text of the agreement. Instead, the issues of sanction relief and frozen assets will be tied to whatever concessions that Iran's willing to make regarding its nuclear program during the upcoming talks. So just based off of what's out there right now, it's been described as the hardest things in this dispute to get both sides to agree on. The US and Iran haven't actually resolved those things. With Trump claiming that the nuclear deal reached under Obama in 2015 gave Iran an easy, beautiful, smooth road to a nuclear weapon. And he also claimed that if he had not ripped up that agreement, Iran not only would have already built, but used a nuclear weapon. A claim that just appears to have zero basis in reality, at least partly because that Obama deal, it was working. Right under the Obama agreement, Iran shipped 97% of its enriched uranium stockpile to Russia. They also complied with limits on enrichment set by the deal for the remainder of Obama's time in office all the way into Trump's first term. But then after Trump ripped up that deal, Iran began enriching uranium at its highest level ever, 60%, which is just shy of bomb grade. And they eventually stockpiled enough to build 10 to 12 nuclear weapons, although it never did, and as far as we know, it never planned to. Right? It's now that stockpile that's one of the key sticking points that are going to have to be worked out. While Trump in that post claimed that the US will, when all is calm, go into Iran and recover its highly enriched uranium stockpile, there are reports that Iran's only agreed to give up half of its stockpile while diluting the other half to levels that would only have civilian purposes. Also the other big question is how long Iran will agree to suspend uranium enrichment in the country, with Trump telling the Times that he's pushing for a 20-year suspension on enrichment. That we then also negotiated against himself, telling the Times that he might even settle for 15 years, which, just a little note, is the same length of time that Iran agreed to under the Obama deal. But that agreement only allowed enrichment up to 3.67%, and you have Trump insisting that the enrichment at any level is going to be suspended. Right? And then Trump also told the Times that Iran would be forever barred from enriching uranium to levels with military applications, though he would not specify the exact percentage, though that could be because he just does not personally know what that percentage is. And again, ultimately, all of this is going to depend on negotiations that haven't really even fully started yet. And that's also why you had one former American ambassador to Israel writing on social media, as for the nuclear issues, there really is no agreement. It is possible that no deal will ever be reached, and very likely that if one is reached, it will be worse than what we could have achieved through diplomacy before the war.